And one thing I hear from a lot of traders is how they feel just, really subject to the moods of the markets. Like, the markets and your ability to profit are completely out of your control. Now, the thing is, what the markets do and, the events that trigger things in the markets, yes, those things are beyond your control. But as far as what you do and your ability to profit from what goes on in the markets, that is totally within your control. So if you're feeling that, oh my God, it doesn't seem to matter what I do, the market's just going to hose me, just keep turning when I don't need it. Understand, the markets are not purely random. If they were, the charts wouldn't look like what you see behind me, where there's a flow to it and movement in price. It would just be random. It'd be all over the place. It would look like a scatter plot. And if the markets were truly purely random, but they're not. The markets, I mean, if you think about it, what are the markets? The markets are people and computer algorithms, which follow a certain reasoning. Might be flawed at times as far as the logic and the reasoning that, the behaviors going on. But if you think about it, if you look, again, you look at the chart behind me, there is an order to it. There's an underlying order to it. And so the price moves according to, what's going on in the group. Again, it's people and computer algorithms. It used to just be people, but of course, the day we live in today, there are tons of bots out there, but they're programs, which means their behaviors are programmed. With people, there is a very much of a predictability to human behavior. And what we see in the charts is that behavior being played out. Now, a lot of times, it's just a lot of noise because you have a whole bunch of different people doing different things. They got their different opinions, and things are just kind of noisy. And that's when the markets are choppy. But when you see movements like what you're seeing behind me, well, that's because, the general sentiment is, things are favorable, there's confidence or there's fear, and that's why the price is dropping down. But the cool thing about it is every time you see a move in the markets, it's because you're seeing a behavioral response to something that has happened in the marketplace. Maybe there was a news event, a related market, whatever. But you're seeing a behavioral response being played out in the people and the computer algorithms. And that's cool. That's where we have our advantage as traders, is being able to recognize, okay, hey, there's been an event. I've seen that, the turn, maybe it's a particular pattern that you follow. Maybe it's, Gartley patterns. It's, the traditional, tops and bottoms, consolidations, exhaustion, that kind of stuff. But they're patterns. And if our edge as traders is once a pattern is initiated, if we identify it properly, that's cool because now there's an element of predictability to that behavioral response. And that's cool. That's how we have our edge as traders. If the markets were purely random, it would just be a gambling game. It really would. And it would just have to be playing statistics and moving probabilities. But it's not. We actually have behavioral patterns and responses that we can use to our advantage. And that's totally cool. So if you're struggling to be making money in the markets, then again, take a look at your strategy. Because your strategy and maybe the way you're executing it, if you don't have it geared for consistency, then, okay, yes, it's not going to perform well. Now, one thing that's at the core of this, and it's really important for you to understand, a strategy and a system are not the same. A strategy can be, I'll trade market reversals, or, I'm going to trade breakouts, or I'm, going to look to follow the trend. Those are strategies. Your system is how you're going to do that 500 or 1,000 times consistently. And so they're not the same. I mean, if all you need is a good strategy, here's the best strategy ever created, best one, hands down. 2 simple rules: buy low, sell high. Best strategy ever. Yeah, the whole trick is being able to do it consistently, hundreds or thousands of times, just like any other strategy. So again, a system and a strategy aren't the same. And if you're struggling, it's maybe your system needs some help. Maybe there's some things that you don't understand about how to systemize something. And that's where I can help you. But anyway, back to, you having control over your ability to profit in the markets. You do have absolute control over your ability to profit. It's, recognizing patterns, knowing how to get in and take advantage of it, and how to manage manage the trade so that if you're right, cool, it pays off. If you're wrong, you minimize your loss. That's really boiling it down into a very simple but very true, thing about trading. It's a simple fact. And, as far as the trade management, and, you don't even have to be perfect about the entry. It really is about the consistent execution and trade management. My favorite strategy I've ever seen. I thought it was absolutely hilarious, but we were able to systemize and make it profitable. When the guy came to me, he said, I know this will work. I just got to figure out how to make it repeatable. Random entry. He would lay out a chart of the different commodities. He'd take his finger and go, bam, put it down. That's the one I'm going to enter. And he'd flip a coin to say, that's the market direction. And he would enter the trade. And from there, it was strictly money management. And he was profitable because his trade management was good. So the entry can be purely random. Like I said, he would randomly pick a market, and he would randomly, with a coin flip, say, I think the market's going this direction. And so it was all in his management. And that's, again, where our advantage comes in as traders. So if you'd like some help with this, getting it sorted out as far as, the strategy you're working with, or the way you've got it, so, your system built, those are the two things that are the controlling factors. And of course, self-management's part of it. But once you get these parts down, the self-management, it gets a whole lot easier. If you're working with a half-baked strategy or strategies, there are a lot of good strategies out there. So strategy usually isn't the problem. It's usually in the system. If you need some help with it, let me know, because that's where the repeatability of it is where you're struggling. And there's probably some things about it, nobody's bothered to teach you. And that's why you're looking at it saying, I think it's good, but you can't see what's wrong with it. So anyway, you do have control over your trading and your ability to profit. And it's just a matter of getting the right help so that you can be, develop that capability, that competency, and then boom, you're off to the races, and you're set for life. Again, I hope this has been helpful. If it has, give it a like down below, and go and subscribe to my channel, click the notification bell. And of course, share it with your friends. If you'd like some help, swing by InsideOutTrading.com. Again, I hope this has been helpful. Talk to you soon. Cheers. So do you sometimes struggle with inconsistent results from your trading? A little too much variability in what you're getting as far as, winners and losers. If you'd like some help with your consistency, that's my area of expertise. I used to be a quality assurance manager, and quality is all about getting consistent results, predictable, reliable results. So if you'd like my help with your trading, swing by InsideOutTrading.com. Schedule a call with me. We'll get on. We'll talk about your situation and see if I can help you improve the consistency of your trading results. Talk to you soon.